Hey, thank you everyone for attending JIL Communications Coffee and Conversation Series. You will receive a $10 coffee card for attending this and for your time. We will be having these every Friday in the month of October. And for those who don't know JIL, we are a white glove technology solutions company that provides guidance and support to make sure your business receives the best solutions for your company. Today's topic, excited, multi-cloud and software solutions with Kobe Phillips, Paul Croteau, and Scott Stenicky. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I will break in and have these three seasoned professionals give you some feedback on that. As always, JIL can follow up with a conversation. Obviously, practicing all social distance guidelines, either on site or over a Zoom call or something like this. We're going to break for a poll question right now. And let me see what that poll question is real quick. It is, does your company have a strategy for moving to the cloud? We'll give that a few seconds. Let everybody weigh in. Three, two, one. Okay. I don't see those results, but I will have those results here shortly. I did want to introduce, our first speaker, Kobe Phillips. Kobe has a long history in the cloud data center space. He is with one of our technology distributors who runs their cloud team. He's worked for companies such as Equinix, which is one of the largest data center and solutions providers out there. Kobe, what's up? How you doing?
Not much. So bright and early here in Seattle, and thank you guys for having me on. So I will dive in here. I just want to make sure everybody, can you guys see my screen okay there, Sean?
I am seeing a blank screen, sir.
All right, 1 second. Let me read.
There you go.
There we are. All right. So we're talking a lot about, cloud services today, particularly the migration and the transformation. And so what I've noticed is cloud services are synonymous with a kind of a marketing phrase, but it really is something that's out there in the marketplace. So in digital transformation. And one of my favorite sayings around digital transformation is, when it's done right, it's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. But when it's done wrong, all you have is really fast caterpillars. And unfortunately, we kind of have the Indianapolis 500 of caterpillars out there. As you'll see here, a recent survey of directors and CEOs and other senior executives found that digital transformation risk is still their #1 concern in 2020. Now, obviously, that poll was probably taken at the end of 2019 or early 2020, because there's been some other things that have popped up that have probably risen to the top of that list as the #1 concern. You'll see later on how those two things come to impact and actually still drive digital transformation and as the #1 concern for a lot of companies. The reason why it's a #1 concern is everybody's got great intentions, right? If you look at the illustration, you got the guy, he's got the trampoline set up, he's all set up for success, but then something goes terribly wrong and you fall just short of your stated goal here. About 70% of the initiatives did not reach their goals for digital transformation in 2019, estimating about $900 billion of waste spend of the 1.3 trillion that was set aside for companies to do this. So you got a lot of companies that are coming in and having the best of intentions, and one or two little things can go wrong and derail a whole project or delay it, and these goals are not being met. And that's why it's important to bring in the right digital strategists to really come in and help implement what's going on in your environment. We're going to hear from a great supplier today in Rackspace and some of the things that they can do and put around companies to make sure that they get to their stated goals and move the business forward in what they're needing to do to transform. With the world as it is today, it's increasingly important, because what we're seeing now with COVID and the impact that it's had on these in this environment is it's just accelerating people to go and try to do this transformation. You're now getting a lot of IT directors that are getting pressed down from their executives to get to the cloud and migrate things as fast as possible to make them more flexible and agile as a company to accommodate all of the different impacts of COVID. Mostly the remote workforce, obviously, the need to consume more SaaS-based products here. And what that's really doing is creating an environment where employees are now seeing that they have options. You get, recent polls are saying people want to work from home more. And so to be able to answer that bell for companies, they need to be able to have these cloud-based solutions and allow their work from anywhere solutions to be in place for those employees. I don't think the world is going back to the way it ever was. And I think that's been pretty well hammered home throughout a lot of these type of conversations. And you'll see that by the market cap increase. It went from 233 billion in 2019 and estimated to be up to 295 billion by 2021. And the other more telling stat that I've been seeing out there is where people are estimating the workforce to be long-term, right? So 25 to 30% of the workforce will be working from home multiple days a week by the end of next year. And by 2025, it's estimated to be about a 50-50 workplace work from home split. So the importance of this technology and the transformations that we're going through and how do we get you from the status where you are now to where we want you to be able to support this and anything else that's thrown at you is crucial. And unfortunately, we're also seeing a lot of companies jump in and putting band-aids on things to try to get them, through this pandemic and all of the different fallout that comes from that. And what I always want to advise is let's take a step back a little bit and see if we can put some things in place that'll not only benefit you immediately, but also long-term and put you in a great position. And once again, that's where the team here can really come in and step in and give that guidance and put that playbook together for you guys as end users. And so with that, I want to turn it over to the channel CTO for Rackspace, Paul Catoy, and get him ready to roll.
All righty, guys and gals. Let me get my presentation up here. Can you see my full screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Well, Kobe, thanks. Always fun to be on panels with you. Great seeing your face again. Looking forward to getting back together in person once this COVID madness is done. So keep me honest on time. I think I got 10 or 15 minutes. Is that accurate? I'll try to keep this brief and maybe create some time for questions and such. So notice the word opportunity here. Kobe talked about data center transformations, migrations, people that need to make changes. He's 100,000% right. So let's talk about what actually exists out there today. I'm going to minimize this webinar window. So there we go. So here's some things, misses based on COVID-19. The biggest one is staffing. A lot of businesses are down quite a bit. Things are getting better. We're back on the upswing now, but some businesses were impacted. 95% decreases in traffic, airlines, restaurants, etc. So they've lost people. They didn't have enough people in the first place to support their businesses. Their business functions have been impacted. So loss of talent that they had. And honestly, a lot of businesses didn't have enough IT talent with current skills in the first place. So now we're dealing with financial struggles. They can't afford their business. They were running fat. They're running unoptimized. And now things have changed quite a bit. Revenues are down. Traffic's down for a lot of customers. And businesses, kind of looking back, they did not adopt a cloud forward mindset. They didn't have work from home plans as part of their standard business operations methodologies, et cetera. So they didn't have virtual desktops environment. They didn't think about VPN connectivity and security and encryption of data in flight or at rest. And then when you expose your network to a lot more remote access points, you got a lot more potential doors into your business for security problems. If you think my mom, she used to work at a call center for AT&T. And imagine my mom, 70 years old, using her 10-year-old laptop full of malware and who knows what else, because she's one of those folks that clicks on all the emails. Imagine that device connecting to your corporate network now. And do you have everything in place to make sure that that connection is secure and you're not opening the door to a bunch of bad stuff? So folks aren't ready for consistent desktops, et cetera. But There are also a lot of businesses out there today that are actually seeing increases in demand. Some of them handled it fine. A lot are like, oh my God, help! We're growing too quickly now. Because think of Uber, delivery companies of every kind, grocery stores. We did a project a few months ago when all this started for HEB Grocery, a major grocery chain in Texas, where we deployed a chatbot system to handle support because people were constantly texting and calling and dealing with, do you have alcohol? Do you have toilet paper? And they didn't have the way to handle that influx. So they experienced a surge in traffic. So there's some silver linings as well. But lots of things happened due to COVID. And what COVID has done is kind of created a unique situation. So you look at the world today. Let's think about what technology is being impacted today, and the opportunities that you have. Because I really see what's going on today as a massive opportunity for anyone interested in selling cloud services. This is kind of like selling bandwidth was in the .com boom. It's a huge demand. Great place to be right now, but you got to figure out what you want to talk about with your customers. And what I've seen in the channel, I've been supporting the channel the past 5 years or so specifically, is that there's a focus on the networking side of the stack. So this iceberg here, we know the concept of the iceberg. The vast majority of the ice is below the waterline. You don't see it. We just see a little bit floating on top. I think that the same thing applies to channel revenue. So what we see historically in the channel is sellers talking to companies about networking stuff, the network stack. I would say 9 out of 10 of the providers out there in the channel I've seen, this is their focus, or this is their sales team's experience. Circuits, bandwidth, things of that sort, firewalls, core network, telco closet stuff. And so they're talking about these things. And over the past few years, pre-COVID, they had to expand that offering to include collaboration type things and phone and chat and SD-WAN, UCaaS, CCaaS, and 5G is having a massive impact in the world. These are the things that a lot of folks out there are talking about. And so COVID hits, oh my God, everyone's at home. Is there an opportunity for me on the VPN side or the work from home side? Yes, but there's also a lot of other stuff that most folks in the channel don't talk about because it's not their sweet spot. And they're just by human nature avoiding the topic. So these same customers that you're talking to today, the accounts you already have, they've got hardware, servers, storage going on site or at data centers or in colo. And they've got other networking technologies and security technologies that they've got to have help with right now, because that's where they run their applications. And oh, by the way, they're also in the cloud. Gartner says the average mid-market company is in at least 5 clouds today. Okay, so there's lots of other technologies that need to be supported. It's not just a network stack. So all these things are going on. All these icons, little slide plug, all these icons Rackspace can help with us. What we do, application infrastructure management. We're not a co-location company that competes with Equinix. The name Rackspace is kind of unfortunate because it's the opposite of what we do. Slight sidebar there. But let's talk about what's going on. What has COVID done? For those in the room that have been in support before of any kind of technology, you know that the best time to do stuff is in a maintenance window. Okay, you don't do your patching, your hardware replacement, your swap outs, etc. at noon on a Thursday. You do it at 1 a.m. on a Saturday or a Sunday, so that if something goes wrong, you can adjust and roll back or fix while traffic is low. Well, COVID has created a global maintenance window right now. Traffic is low for a lot of businesses. And unfortunately, a lot of those businesses are not coming back. I heard a stat recently that 50% of small businesses that have closed down today will not reopen. And that's horrible because small business is the backbone of our economy. Not their fault, but that's our reality. So, but there's businesses of all sizes that can use this downtime window to evaluate what they've got going on. You do things in a maintenance window because traffic is low. Well, for a lot of businesses, traffic is still low. So now is a great time to talk to your accounts and think of some stuff. Think about their entire technology stack, because you want to be alive in 2021, you got to operate lean. Now is a great time to look at your data center space. How many servers, how many cabinets of gear do you have? How old is that stuff? And can you downsize from 5 cabinets of gear down to 1 cabinet of gear thanks to virtualization, or a cabinet plus a bunch of stuff in a data center somewhere else, or in the cloud, or even multiple clouds? Now is a great time because traffic is low to optimize your solution, right size it, future proof it, refactor applications, take the old school stuff that you've been putting off forever and take advantage of this downtime window now, because if things accelerate in 2021 and you still on old stuff, it's going to break. customers are going to go elsewhere. So you got a chance to modernize those apps to say, let's do a data center defrag. Let's go find out where all of our stuff, where's all of our data, where are all of our applications running. We don't know. We got rogue IT. This department bought some stuff in the cloud because central IT was buried and couldn't get to it in time. We went with this vendor. We got stuff under someone's desk. We got a data center here. Gather all the children, clean up the room, figure out what you've got, and then figure out where it should be. So this is just a sample timeline. You come in, talk to your customers about strategy and things of that sort, and then figure out what they should be doing based not just on technology, because it's not just about, oh, this needs to go in this cloud. It could be, you guys have certain cloud skills, let's take advantage of that. Or you don't have any cloud skills, you should outsource to a partner that has those. Or we want to help your IT teams. You need VMware, you need security, you need remote desktops, work from home, etc. So there's lots of things you figure out what you need based on your staffing, your leadership's attitude towards cloud. Are they cloud friendly, cloud averse? Are they outsourcing friendly or averse? And figure out what solution makes the most sense for their needs, technical, business, industry, etc. Then design a solution for them that will be great, and then build it for them if they like it, migrate them into it, and then keep it running secure, financially optimized, etc. So there's lots of phases involved with this, but the main thing is talk to them about evaluating their current situation, refresh their relationship with IT, figure out what they've got, where they want to be, and then get them there.
So Paul, what role does can Rackspace play in a lot of those type of situations you just described?
So this is every single block here, everything you see in this timeline, this is actually a project timeline from an existing customer. So we can do all these things. We don't want folks to channel trying to sell our portfolio. We want to be next to them, selling it with them, alongside of them. We don't need sellers in the channel. No one in this channel needs to become cloud experts or mastering their partners' portfolios. Sellers should be out there talking about business topics and then bringing in the right vendor for that issue. The right vendor for the telecom situation, the right vendor for security or cloud or whatever. And instead, Rackspace, we happen to do all the stuff I've just talked about.
Nice, very nice.
So I think I've got a couple of case studies here real quick. Yeah, 2 quick case studies to kind of put this together, a large and a small. So everyone knows about Payless. They're a business that I think these days is really struggling, but we've been a customer of ours for a long time. To solidify kind of what we did here, this was a data center migration. We did 3 things for them. It was a cloud readiness assessment. So kind of what I just mentioned. Instead of a data center defrag or a data center assessment, it was a cloud readiness. What's your business like? Are you ready for the cloud? What can be in the cloud? What should be there? What shouldn't? Because Rackspace is expert at helping customers understand what the cloud is and isn't, and which cloud is best for them. And it could be multiple clouds. And we've got a phrase at Rackspace, the cloud's for everyone, but not everything. And we help guide customers where they need to go. And we're agnostic because we support every major cloud, every major vert platform. So we give customers what they need, not what we're trying to sell. So with Payless, it was a cloud readiness assessment to figure out what they were doing and where they should be. Then we migrated them into the cloud. And then we took some of their old school applications and modernized, refactored, replatformed those applications. And they saved about 40% annually in IT expenses. And that's at the enterprise level.
So you're telling me you have guys that can look at a company's applications and make good recommendations on whether to optimize it, grab one of your database engineers or even look at a new kind of shifting to a new platform, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things out there. The problem with the cloud is that the technology changes so quickly. Vendor capabilities change so often. Amazon Cloud has more than 40,000 SKUs in its catalog right now. So it's hard for customers and central IT teams to keep up with technology and know what their options are. So a lot of times it's just, let's have a call with them. There's no commitment. Our pre-sales process is free and very knowledgeable, and talk to the customer about what they're doing, what they've got, and you start learning, where's your data? Where are your apps? Oh, you're running that? Or did you know this is an option? So yeah, we'll help them figure out where to go and then help them re-application platform if necessary.
Sweet.
Awesome. And then so that's an enterprise space. That was a big customer. Like I said, about 40% IT cost reduction in data center hosting at the enterprise space. An SMB customer of ours, this customer I think is doing about 130 million a year. So in the Rackspace mindset, any business doing less than 300 million in annual revenue is considered SMB. I mean, we'll talk to customers that are doing a lot below that. We'll take, a customer with 1 or 2 servers, or a customer that wants, half a dozen O365 mailboxes. We'll do that all day. We've got 125,000 customers. We've got SME, mid-market, enterprise, but we help customers of all sizes. So Intrepid, they're focusing on home health care, medical tech services, HIPAA compliance, et cetera. So they needed an actual cloud migration to stop taking care of the data center. They didn't have the skills, the staffing to support their data center. So this was another business transformation. So it's not just application refactoring and advisement, but it's business process. How to bring in governance and processes and documentations and help businesses fold the cloud into their everyday business practices. So this is a business transformation professional services engagement. We did managed security for them and their servers, private cloud, meaning a VMware solution. And then we supported, took over their exchange for about nearly 2,000 mailboxes. They wanted Exchange, not O365 at the time. So they no longer run their data center. We do that for them. They still have an IT team. We complement their IT teams. We're never trying to replace folks. We're trying to help them, give them access to our nearly 8,000 person company with about 4,000 engineers in it. So we don't want to replace folks. We want to help them so they can focus on the cool stuff while we do all the IT grunt work and backups, patching, break fix, scaling, while helping them understand what has changed in technology so they stay current and modern. So I'll pause for a second here because that's a lot of content and I speak real quickly. So if you haven't had your coffee, well, you've had me now, so hopefully you're awake. Any questions about this? Because I'm kind of at the end of my slides right now.
I don't see any questions in. Nope, I don't see any questions in chat, but I did specifically want to hit home on kind of some of the differentiators that Rackspace has.
Sure.
And I think one of the biggest ones that keeps resonating with me is the culture.
Sure.
You all are called Rackers, right?
Yes, sir. Rackspace. We're based in San Antonio, Texas. I put a slide up here. I appreciate a chance to throw that in there. Yeah, the culture, we're regularly recognized as a great place to work in the U.S. That has expanded to the UK, continental Europe, Asia, Central South America. And while that's a cool talking point, what does it mean for customers? It means that you've got happy, engaged employees that are more productive. It also means we attract the best talent. So there are companies out there that have 100, 200, 300 people. That's their entire cloud company, and they say that they compete with us, and that's just not true. They can't. Just a purely numbers thing. They're good people, good engineers, but they just don't have the depth that we have. Those numbers on the right, 2,400 AWS certifications, 1,700 Microsoft Azure certifications, hundreds in VMware, Google, Red Hat, et cetera. And because we're a great place to work, we attract the best of the best from a talent perspective. So not only do we have large teams of support, but they're all-star teams. They're the Lakers, they're the Dodgers, they're the Yankees. You know, Yankees is a bad example this year, but they're best of the best. So our customers get high quality. You know, that Farmers Insurance, we've seen it, we've done it before. It's the same thing for us. So great culture, lots of fun, lots of passion, lots of skills, and that leads to lots of success for our customers.
So you've got a really deep bench, it looks like, you know.
Absolutely.
which leads us to our kind of our last poll question that we can throw up there. You know, do you feel like you're adequately staffed to execute on your business strategies involving technologies? We'll give that a good 20, 30 seconds.
I'd like to put a plug in for a chance to chat with folks later about selling tactics in the cloud, how to find opportunity. Kobe has seen me present this before. Part of my job as channel CTO is to enable and educate channel sellers. And we've got a lot of content we can give folks on how to uncover revenue opportunities in the cloud. So open-ended sales questions on various topics. You don't need to know tech, like I said earlier. You want to find folks and talk in business and bring the right partners in.
Okay, I've got the results on the poll. Looks like we've got 33% said yes, 67% don't feel like they are adequately staffed to execute on business strategies, which again lends to why we do these coffee and conversations and introduce providers like Rackspace and Paul, as well as, you know, industry experts like Kobe that can navigate some of these waters. Me personally, I asked that culture question because at the end of the day, people like doing business with people that they can relate to, that they're productive, you know, and really resonate and do what they say they can do. So, and I've seen that in both Rackspace and what Kobe can offer as well. So guys, any further questions? Kobe, Paul?
I'm all
comments?
set on my end. Just appreciate you having us on.
No, absolutely. Guys, we thank you. Again, next week's topic will be focused on UCAS hosted voice over IP. We're looking forward to talking deeply about that. And hopefully that will, again, we keep coming back to this COVID thing, right? Those cloud technologies that Paul just talked about, Kobe just talked about, with the contact center previously, and now the UCAS hosted VoIP, they all resonate with your business. So guys, we appreciate it. Glad you all are partners of ours. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.